this committee is not to neglect. There's no rooms locked. There's no rooms locked.
Oh, you're not like, I thought you were like, you're not EDS or anything?
No, it's supposed to be part of my health. Like it's for employment opportunities. It has to do with my health. I just need to do this real quick. Yeah.
Oh no, you're good.
Are my keys still right there?
Huh?
Are my keys still right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just gotta do this real quick. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, appreciate it. The point of this committee is not to let this autistic person run our institution. It's not for him to have these inadequate and especially ventures that would compromise our national security. It is time to recognize that he is something far more of a liability, if not a threat, because we can't even label him as a threat. Now what are we going to do as America? With absolutely no programming experience, he managed to obtain very sensitive and confidential information, classified documents, beyond the FBI. What are we going to do now? This is unprecedented. It's time that we really initiate something on this individual beyond of which no likes of any American has ever faced or known to man, and it needs to be done as soon as possible. We are not going to let him have any compensation. We are going to make sure he is no longer established even as an American citizen, and even at that has citizenship. And we're going to make sure that if he sticks around beyond any illegal immigrant, he is going to have to face the biggest blacklist, and we are going to experiment on him till the day he rests on his bed and his days are done. And when they are numbered, he is going to recognize what real blacklisting to employment, food assistance, financial aid, and things of natures beyond what any sort of person within any states in which it stands with America that the United States will impose on this individual. I was like, wow. I'm just like, whoa, man. I just got started on autism. Not had autism, get it? I'm still suffering medically. That medical blacklist is a bit much. You guys all need to just calm down. Like, let's be honest. I mean, I could hardly even stand, tall enough to be seen over this podium. Just take it easy. Also, like, come on. An institution like this, I can say a lot of names. I have the Jeffrey Epstein list. On top of that, like the Diddy files and very confidential information with our current president, Donald Trump. Like, it really doesn't get anything better than that. It kind of tackles all sides. I mean, some people are left out, Asians, Pacific Islanders, Hispanics, Lions, Europeans, some non-blacks, but yeah. I'm like, I just have autism. You're not seriously like threatened by an autistic person with, if no healthcare, just blacklisted healthcare, are you? I'm supposed to be receiving Social Security, and I have basically the equivalent of a criminal record, but it's a corrupt mental health record by Los Angeles County, which is like its own country. It's basically like a large government just running itself, not even to the dirt. It's just colluding and collaborating with real criminals, was it like 35 felonies? Donald Trump. Didn't 5 people get arrested for literally projecting and using their freedom of speech and didn't even have to speak at that, but let the evidence literally be presented, and those of which have been involved get caught by the evidence itself at a castle in the United Kingdom before Donald Trump would literally have a luxurious, dinner. Also, think about autism. It's like being an elderly person and anybody can take advantage of you, but it's like being a child at the same time where you can still advocate for yourself and make sure you have legal protection because you're innocent. But also get it from like an elderly person to a child. Like that doesn't mean that they're like, innocent. That would be discrimination on their age. I don't know. If I had one more thing to say, I would say that the dating world was fake from, I would just generalize it and say the 90s, but I'm just going to say 1995 to our current time. One man was basically running, every single woman in the entire world, even creating, mothers and new women to, bring up women within a certain line of work, and it's like, and that's why the whole male epidemic happened, because, it's like you can go to your job all you want, but if there's not even like a top 1%, there's like kind of like henchmen, a very like large gray area in between of like investors and businessmen, and like they're selected only if they're complicit in like, human trafficking, but I don't want to elaborate too further. Also, getting diagnosed with autism, it is a bit much when you could barely even see my head over this podium. I could have equal opportunity to be a billionaire myself, millionaire at that, but even then, I would have just been content to literally just working a 9 to 5, but now that everybody wanted to go against me, I'm just gonna name a few names. Chris Brown is on the Epstein list. Drake is on the Epstein list. Rihanna is on the Epstein list. Donald Trump's on the Epstein list. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein is on the Epstein list. Sean D. Combs is on the Epstein list. Sean D. Combs is so special that he has his own files, but it's kind of more secret, like as if, African American to non-Black America was basically trafficking everybody, but like not really, like everybody entirely, but basically everybody. Nobody's gonna mention anything about that, but at the same time, if you kind of pay attention to the news, you'll see that like this governor for, I think it's Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, he's saying that law enforcement is a sickness, but in reality, like, who's kind of the sickness from like the cartels all the way to like, black gangs or Asian mafias and European mafias and Middle Eastern or halfway to full-on terrorists and basically anybody in between. I didn't even leave anybody out. I don't know. It's kind of just facts. Since I'm going to be blacklisted by everything, and Donald Trump is working with, Los Angeles behind the scenes, and Los Angeles is just controlled opposition. There's really no such thing as Democrats now at this point. If they are, they're just trying to save their own skin because, all these politicians will all eat each other just like any, elite or the rich and powerful in general. Also, the Australian Taxation Office is on the Epstein list. I thought I just mentioned this. It's like kind of important. Also, like Prince Andrew's indefinitely on the Epstein list. So at that point, you know that like somebody that's kind of hiding behind the scenes behind the British royal family, because like eventually people are gonna be like, stop blaming the British royal family. Like somebody would eventually say like, stop blaming Trump for everything. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are on the Epstein list too. I mean, I've been discriminated to the point where I have no health care, even by a large university and institution at UCLA that studied on me for autism back in like 2012, 2013. And I don't get my social security, which is what I was basically used for in that study. And my mom basically got to run my life down the drain along with the rest of my family, because I'm a survivor of domestic family abuse and human trafficking at that. As a male, as a biological male, as a man, as a boy if you want to call me, as a man child if you want to make fun of me at that. Also, Quentin Tarantino is on the Epstein list. That kind of makes sense because, like, you know, the Council of Legislative Congress Special Region of China, or however you say it, it's such a long name, which is LEG-CO, like LEG as in George, CO. LEG-CO is on the Epstein list too, and like, I know that's kind of odd to like get that comparison to Quentin Tarantino, but it kind of makes sense because, you know, like the Asian community, more specific like the elders and everything, they're just mad because they literally had to protect a pedophile, just like, you know, we have to do in our country. And also they have to deal with like extreme communism, but it's basically just a social credit system. It's like calling it communism, that they're a survivor of communism is generalizing it. They literally had to survive technology, AI, and plus an entire social credit system, which is eventually going to come to America. It's already in the UK. It's like, and United Healthcare and Pfizer is going to ruin all your lives. Also, Shriners of America is going to ruin your lives too, because they're basically experimenting on the disabled and the vulnerable, because those disabled and the vulnerable won't be able to not only leave, like they can't even leave their country, like everybody's gonna try to do with America, especially when I call out everybody that I do. And I have an Epstein list in Los Angeles, all very convenient, you know, so that way if any annihilation happens, especially with like, you know, weapons of mass destruction, and our own president does it to us, they won't have to do it in New York again, get it? I don't think anybody gets up. Get Two Towers, Lord of the Rings. I don't want to get into this one. I'm literally like a hobbit. I'm trying to like talk over this podium. I'm not even tall enough. I never even wanted to be tall. I never even wanted to be attractive. I was just content with who I am. But I guess I kind of got everything that I ever wanted and needed at the same time, while being persecuted and blacklisted by basically everything in the United States of America. I can name a few more names on the Epstein list, but I think the last thing I'll say is that you don't deserve the Epstein list. You don't deserve the Diddy files. You back up these people that, you know, wronged you, especially within their own cultures and races. You see it with that, you know, Ukrainian girl on the train, nobody cared. And even if people like you and they're good apples, something terrible happens and there's not enough investigation, just a whole bunch of love bombing and, you know, forgery and stage play and acting and street theater, and everybody forgets about it. Get what happened in Connecticut. Charlie Kirk, might as well mention his name. I can't remember or even know who the Ukrainian girl was, because I mean, Ukraine didn't even deserve our aid anyway. Just like another country, but I can't mention them. Also, I know a few languages, but like, it kind of gets all mixed in. Also, Saudi Arabia, and a large portion of like the Middle East is on the Epstein list, which is funny because I learned about like the Ottoman culture, but like what they did to women slaves as warriors, but I don't want to get into this. You can do that research on your own, get it? Also, I'm at a large institution, ResearchGate, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. I'm on their radar. But I'm not trying to brag. Like, it's actually something that I should be far more concerned about than anybody else would, because it wouldn't affect anybody else's life. So they would be able to go to their 9 to 5 job, probably pay for some people who are being trafficked, not get caught up by the police, and even have the police, wave a finger at them or pat them on the back. Meanwhile, I try to use a restroom, at McDonald's and literally almost get detained, or, try to buy a hair clip so that way I can make my kippah, because I happen to be, Jewish, but everybody's going to call me only half Jewish because I'm not established by the courts, and my mother wasn't Jewish, she was Catholic. I could say so lame, but I don't want to be discriminatory on anybody's religion, race, color, ethnicity, or orientation. That's what everybody's done to me, basically. I got in trouble by these human traffickers from messing around with these trans escorts on tsescorts.com and listcrawler and backpage and bedpage.com, but you all have to do your own research. I'm not doing it for you. Anyway, because I basically called out everybody, and everybody's gonna try to twist my words like I'm threatening the president. Never know, Secret Service or FBI might not be at my doorstep. They'll just try to detain me out on the sidewalk, or a homeless mafia, a homeless elite will literally take me out anywhere in Los Angeles, Brentwood all the way to Santa Monica, and San Pedro all the way to Palos Verdes, and Redondo Beach all the way to Long Beach, and anywhere in between. Even though Long Beach isn't even a part of Los Angeles, but I still got in trouble by them before Los Angeles itself. Also, CareCorps to Los Angeles is corrupt, and it's a precursor and a prototype to Project Los Angeles. Get ready for Project Los Angeles, because it's coming soon to you, and in 2028 you will not have control over your own life. God bless. God bless America. It's pretty crazy.
Did that guy steal my keys? Not a single one.
No, he didn't.
I'm like, man. I just dismantled an institution in under 20 minutes. I still have 10 more to go. Oh, and I handled the president in under 20 minutes without having a projector or anything else. Los Angeles should be thanking me. Yet they're not gonna thank me. They're gonna have the biggest problems. They're gonna lose the biggest amount of money. Santa Monica is going through a fiscal distress. I own you. Don't you realize? Not Donald Trump. Stop blaming Donald Trump. I own you like I own Disney. Don't you understand? I own Disney. So if I own Disney, I own you. I don't own Disney, by the way. It's just satire. Anyway, God bless everybody.